If it's a difficult situation at work, okay, the parts of me are reacting. I put them aside. I come back to myself as a leader. So what I do, if I have a difficult conversation with the co-founder or with someone from the team, okay, I feel certain emotion, something triggers me. Okay, who is it reacting inside of me? I detach that part and I'm again back to myself, from which I can have more grounded adult conversation.
Wow, that sounds so fascinating.
Mm.
Literally, to me, it sounds like, when I was listening, it's sort of, I was just picturing almost like our inner child coaching us, and us at the same time coaching our inner child. I don't know how, if that is so, or it's just the first thing that it sort of came to me. It's almost like a two-way. It was almost like you were the coach, but you were the client at the same time.
Absolutely. That's
Ooh.
quite interesting comparison, because in a way, through building the relationship with inner child, you learn more about that part of you, and that part of you, it's a source of creativity, innovation, bold ideas, and everything what the corporate and business world is celebrating. So by building the relationship with that part, you can actually get so much in return, because that part will show you what you are capable of, and how many gifts you have to bring and share with the world.
That is so beautiful. But I'm just wondering, what are the, all these clients that come to you to work on their inner child? Is that something that they know already that they should be doing, or someone comes to you and then, through a process of coaching, you understand that looking at their inner child is what they should be doing?
Yeah. I would say what I see in my private practice a lot is a lot of smart, knowledgeable people come to me and they say, look, I know that. I read about that. I know what I have. But I don't know how to change it, how like to put it into practice, how to put it into work.
Mhm.
So there is a big difference between I know and between I implement it and I experience it, not on the level of the thoughts, but on the level of emotions. So it is the emotional world we often overlook when we talk about corporate world or business world. But in order to drive transformational change, we need to invite our humanness into that, because we are not the machines who do the work. We are people who feel. We are people who are in business and at work, but we always build the relationship with other people, and we do it on the level of emotions. And in order for that to work, we need to not only think that we know, but we need to experience it on the level of emotion. So this is often the gap that where I step into and I bridge it between what you think and what you feel in the body, what you feel in your mind. And there is a lot of work to do in terms of developing our capacity to feel.
Very interesting, because, in sustainability, we always talk about, I work also in circularity, in building a circular economy, and it is all well and good that the companies that are innovating with new business models and so on, and oh God, it's really needed. But I often reflect on how and I think it sounds funny, but how perhaps the best model or the most important model that we should create is a model to build our internal capabilities, right? Our human capabilities, right? So there'll be like the best or the most powerful business model ever, right? And I think we just literally, you're missing out on this opportunity. You know, there should be like more companies actually, organizations like looking at that. And this is why I found super interesting that you've actually last year, you gave your first TED Talk. Not only that, but you hosted TED for Wood Lane Talks in London. And on top of that, you dared. Yeah, you dared to give your first TED Talk, and congratulations for that. I watched it and it was really inspiring. So you explored an interesting perspective on how embracing our anxious inner child can help bridge the gap between that climate anxiety and action, right? Leading to a deeper connection with the planet and empowering us to create meaningful change. I would love to unpack with you this interesting connection.
Sure, sure. And I really like that we are emphasizing in many different ways the word connection. Because what I meant by giving that talk, I wanted to bring attention to how disconnected we are. How disconnected we are not only from the world and from the environment, but actually from ourselves too. And the crisis that is happening now in the topics of climate change, sustainability, just underlies how disconnected we are from what is happening, but also how disconnected we are from the feeling towards what is happening. Many of us feel anxious about the climate change, yet very often the emotional response that comes after that is numbness, paralysis. We don't know what to do about that because the climate change seems such a big topic to tackle. I wanted to show that it is about the world and climate change, but initially it's so much about you and how you relate to macrocosm within your own microcosm inside of you. That when we feel anxious about the big topic, we need to look at that anxiety with curiosity. We need to step away from labeling some of our emotions as bad emotion, and that we need to do something about it. I wanted to invite people to start changing relationship with anxiety, because very often it's a sign that we care. And if we are able to look at different parts of ourselves that are uncomfortable with curiosity, they have so many important messages to deliver to us. It's a message about my values. Oh, I am anxious about this. It means I care. And once we recognize, oh, it's my value, then we actually have energy to act on it. Okay, if I care about this issue, if I'm connecting to myself and the world, what can I do? What can I do there? And this is how sense of agency is born. And paradoxically, it is born out of anxiety, that we don't brush away, that we actually welcome and try to understand it.
Wow. I think there's so many things that, you know, you've said there that we could definitely unpack. But there's a couple of like words that are so meaningful. And one of them for me is key, which is curiosity. Approaching things with curiosity, because it really takes like heavy weight from our shoulders. It almost asks us to take the role of the explorer, the role of the observer, and to just take 2 steps back and say, you know, hey, you know, I'm not supposed to be perfect. I'm just trying my best here. I'm doing, you know, what I can. And with that, Sort of like observe a lens, almost
Yes.
look at the situation, analyze it, and see what my role is in all this climate change, in all this, I'm working in circularity, I'm building my models, I'm doing what I can.
Yeah.
What do you
Absolutely.
think?
Where there is curiosity, there is no fear, because curiosity and fear cannot coexist simultaneously. It's either one or another. Therefore, once we shift attention from fear to curiosity, this is where the sense of agency starts to unpack. This is where we feel we are connected, we are responsible in many other way, where responsibility, it's not something that should put additional pressure. I really like the word responsibility, that it's an ability to respond. So then in your own way, in your daily life, you can actually be an agent of what you value.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. So just no, there's so many other questions to ask here, and I would love to actually just have you back soon, perhaps on part 2 of this inner child, and maybe even doing a little demo for us, right, as to what our inner child work looks like, and how could actually just kind of help, because like me, I've never done that work, so it'll be actually just interesting to see what the process is. Just a couple of
Sure.
last questions. If we were going to have or picture our inner child in front of us, right? What do you think this dialogue should be looking, feeling, and sounding like? Like,
Yeah.
what's the best sort of type of dialogue to have with her?
Yeah,
Or him,
sure.
in this case?
So I would say the easiest way to start the dialogue would be, if you are caught up in some strong emotion and you visualize the inner child who is feeling that emotion. The first thing I will say to the inner child, I see you. Because to be seen is a fundamental human value that I feel, I work with people a lot. I feel none of us was seen enough in childhood. So
Yeah.
the first thing you give to your inner child, I see you. And then you can start the inner dialogue about, when was the first time you felt that emotion? You start with curiosity, exploring what happened back then. And then if the story unfolds, you just observe it and listen to it with curiosity and compassion. I see you, I understand your experience, I am here for you, you are not alone anymore to feel that. So I would start with that. There is, of course, much more, but then it will be better to do it with someone else who holds space for you.
Thank you, Anna, so much. I cannot thank you enough for taking this time to sit down with me, to launch this series together. And I know that you have a trip coming up,
That's
right?
true. That's true. I'm going to India.
Wow, for 2 weeks, I believe
I'm
you.
going for 2 weeks. I'm going to North India, to Dharamshala. It's near Himalayas, and I've never been to that part of India, and I feel it will be quite a special trip for me to do.
I wish you the best of time. I hope you transcend, like take time to transcend yourself during that trip. And we'll definitely catch up for part number 2, in
I would
which
love that. And I really like your idea of making a demo of what inner child might look like, so more people can have a taste, have a feel, what is it about. So thank you so much for your curiosity towards the inner child work, and thank you so much for inviting me to be here.